think, Father Toops, this...
I think that was one of the girls that works in my office singing, cheering, Viva el Papa! Long live the Pope!
The fact that he's taking so much time with each person just points back to his humility.
Yeah, he's happy to be here. He's going to turn, greet them, and offer them an apostolic blessing. A bishop gives a triple blessing, as you just saw, making the sign of the cross.
We will now turn and go to the Blessed Sacrament Chapel, as we saw earlier in the video, and he will stop to pray there for just a few moments, and then he will head over to Our Lady of Altuting.
Olivia, this Blessed Sacrament Chapel, dedicated in 1970 by the bishops, priests, and seminarians of our country. It's the place where the Blessed Sacrament is reserved in the Upper Basilica, and the bronze tabernacle, as we see there right now, symbolizing the Ark of the Covenant. Let's pause in silence now and pray with him.
The Holy Father is stopping to pray now at the Blessed Sacrament Chapel, and this bronze tabernacle on the elevated platform is beneath the dome that replicates the Ark of the Covenant, and the canopy of bronze pieces that shower the tabernacle represent manna falling from heaven, the daily bread of the Old Testament, and the tabernacle, of course, holds the bread of heaven, the New Testament, that is the Eucharist, and it's course, the sacramental presence of Jesus, his body, his blood, his soul, and divinity.
Again, he's crossing out in front of the high altar of that crowd in the Basilica, once again cheering. Monsignor Rossi is pointing out different features, different aspects architecturally of the Basilica. A very large bas-relief of the universal call to holiness, symbolizing all walks of life, bishop, priest, deacon, layperson, religious sister, all featured in our call to follow Jesus Christ. I'm sure the Archbishop is pointing out the domes that have recently been refinished. Archbishop just dedicated the most recent dome, the Incarnation Dome of the Knights of Columbus, and I was at that beautiful ceremony at the end of 2007, and he's very proud of this national shrine that is in his diocese, Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. He's now crossing over, and he's going to approach the oratorio of Our Lady of Altuting. Again, as we mentioned, this is a little tiny chapel with a statue, only 25 inches tall, the statue. The only exact copy displayed outside of Bavaria. Again, this statue comes from a church, one of Germany's oldest churches, dedicated in 680, the year 680. He's going to stop and pray here. And again, I mentioned earlier, this was one of his most fond memories as a child, going with his family on pilgrimage to Our Lady of Altuting in Bavaria.
And actually, the oratory was dedicated at the National Shrine on April 16th of 2005, same day as today.
As he has just prayed, I'm sure, a Hail Mary, the words of the angel Gabriel to Mary. Olivia, you just mentioned it was dedicated on April 16th, 2005. Mind you, that was in the midst of the papal conclave. He was to be elected Pope 3 days later. The irony of this, now we come 3 years later, and here we are. Again, in God there are no coincidences, only providence and beautiful God incidences. Beautiful mosaic we're seeing there of the Immaculate Conception made in the Vatican Fabbrica, the place where they do the mosaic work inside the Vatican. He's now entering the upper basilica sacristy. We see the papal entourage in tow. Again, when he was in El Toting in 2006 on his trip back to Bavaria, in thanksgiving, he placed his papal ring at the base of that statue of Our Lady, really asking Mary's intercession. Literally, that image of Christ, the Pantocrator, the Christ in majesty, is the largest image in the world of Christ in majesty, and the very first piece of this basilica in place when it was dedicated.